Growing on Instagram isn't luck, and it doesn't happen by going viral or paying for promotions. It really comes down to doing the right things consistently so the algorithm actually understands who to show your content to. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. You'll learn how to build a profile that actually converts viewers into followers, how to create content designed for shares and watch time, what's actually working and what isn't. Let's get into it. Build the foundation of your Instagram account. Get clarity about your niche. Everything you should post should serve the one person you're targeting. Instagram categorizes your account by topic signals, which means it analyzes what you post about, what words appear in your captions, and what accounts engage with you, and then forms an opinion of your account. The more consistent these signals are, the more confidently the algorithm can recommend an account to a specific person and serve your content to them. Something I always do is fill this short statement. I help specific person achieve specific result without specific obstacle. For example, saying that you post about fitness and nutrition isn't good enough, but saying you help people lose weight with personalized meal and fitness plans and without giving up the foods they love is much better. Step 2, optimize your profile for conversions. But even if your content reaches thousands of people, they have to decide to follow you. Your profile is your conversion page, and if it's not set up right, all that reach is wasted. The name field is one of the most underused tools on Instagram. Instagram actually weighs your name and username heavily when deciding what to show in search. So instead of just your name, you should also include what your niche is. For example, @marketingwithcarolus clearly tells you what my focus is, or @carolus in NYC if my account was about New York City. The point is, if that someone searches for something like marketing strategies or New York City travel or life, you have a much higher chance of appearing. The same idea applies to hashtags and keywords, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So when you're choosing your name and username, think about 2 or 3 words your ideal follower would search for and try to include them. Keep it simple and clean, and avoid underscores or numbers if you can, because they make you harder to find and remember. And if you have a business and want to use your actual business name instead of adding things like marketing or a city, that is perfectly fine, because that is what your bio is for. Now, your bio gives you 150 characters, so you should use them to clearly explain what's in it for someone who lands on your profile and is deciding whether to follow you. You should avoid just describing yourself and instead focus on what you do for your audience. For example, something like free marketing tips for small business owners is much more compelling than digital marketer, coffee lover, dog dad. And it's a good idea to end your bio with a single clear action, like new post every Tuesday or free guide below, because it gives people a reason to stick around. You can also add a link in your bio. This doesn't need to be a full website, by the way. It can be a simple landing page on your own domain with your key links. Maybe even an email sign up for a reason for people to stay connected with you beyond Instagram. With Hostinger, you can get a domain and set up a simple link in bio page for under $50 a year and have it live the same day. If you want to try it, there's a discount code and link in the description. Another key part of your profile are the 3 pinned posts at the top. Your first pinned post should explain who you are and who you help so that anyone landing on your profile immediately understands what you do. Your second pinned post should be about your best performing content because it acts as social proof. And your third pinned post should set expectations by showing what you post about. And one last thing, visual identity. You should pick 2 or 3 colors and stick to them, and use a consistent font style for your graphics so that people can recognize your content even before they even read that caption. Now, if you already have an existing account, don't delete it and start fresh. I'd archive the posts that do not fit anymore and rebuild from there. Next up, strategy. The easiest thing you can control to grow on Instagram is how consistently you post. If you post 3 to 5 times per week, you will almost always outperform accounts that post once or twice. Not because the content is better, but because you're showing up more often. And that matters because every time you post, you're giving the algorithm another chance to test your content with new people. The second part of your strategy should be creating repeatable content formats. Most people burn out because they sit down every day trying to come up with something new when In reality, you just need 3 content formats and rotate them. The first format is problem to fast solution. You start with a problem your audience is dealing with right now, and then you solve it. For example, if you're a freelance designer, you might say, why clients keep asking for just one more revision and how do I stop it? The problem feels specific and personal, and the solution gives people a reason to keep watching. The second format is mistakes to fix. You call out a mistake your audience is probably making, and then you correct it. For example, the savings account mistake that's costing you hundreds every year. People naturally want to know if they're doing something wrong, and this format works really well because it gets shared. The third format is relatable scenario to insight. You describe a situation your audience recognizes and then give them a new way of thinking about it. For example, you eat perfectly Monday to Thursday, Friday comes and you have one slice of pizza and suddenly the whole diet is ruined. Here's what's actually happening. You see, people feel seen and they keep watching because they want the explanation. If you've seen one that works really well or you're already using one, drop it in the comments. I'll go through them and break down why they work. Then you just have to apply these formats to your own content. And you should mainly focus on 2 types, reels and carousels. I tend to keep stories out of the equation because they won't bring a lot of new people, but they keep your existing audience engaged, so use them to build familiarity. Reels are your growth engine. This is how you reach people who don't follow you yet, because Instagram pushes Reels hard on the Explore page, in the Reels tab, and in the main feed. Carousels, on the other hand, keep people on your content longer. Every swipe means more time spent on your post, and that tells Instagram your content is worth showing to more people. Carousels also get more saves than any other format, and saves are a strong signal because they show people found your content valuable enough to revisit later. And the last part in your strategy is batching content. You don't need to create something every single day. That's how most people burn out. Take it from someone doing this for a living. What I do is at the start of the week, I use ChatGPT or Claude to generate a batch of ideas on my niche. I review them, pick the best ones, and turn them into scripts. Then I fill all my reels back to back while I'm already set up and in the flow. And I write all my captions in one go as well while I'm in that right headspace. And once everything is ready, I schedule it to post automatically using an automation tool, an 8N in my case, so everything goes out on time. Now, once the content is out, you make sure people actually see it and share it. Watch time tells the algorithm that people are sticking around, so your content is worth showing to more people, while shares, on the other hand, tell the algorithm that people think this is valuable enough to send to someone else, which means it deserves a bigger audience. And if you want both, you need to design your content for it. That's where all these things come in, which I'll walk you through right now. The hook is the first line on the screen or the first thing someone says, and it needs to give people a reason to keep watching, because otherwise most will drop before the 3rd second. So to make sure your content does that, there are 2 simple patterns that work really well and you can easily follow. The first is a bold statement, meaning you say something surprising or go against what people believe. For example, hashtags aren't growing your account. Here's what actually is. The second is a promised outcome. You tell people exactly what they're going to get. For example, by the end of this, you'll know 3 changes that turn profile visitors into real followers. Alongside your hook, you need something visual that stops the scroll immediately. And this is what your pattern interrupt is for. Basically, anything that breaks the automatic scrolling behavior. A quick zoom cut, large bold text on screen, a surprising visual in the background, or even just speaking directly to the camera with a bit more intensity than normal. The point is, the brain is wired to notice what's different, so people stop scrolling. And then there's open loops. An open loop is when you introduce a question or a premise early on, but you don't solve it right away. For example, there are 5 reasons why your account isn't growing, and the 5th one is the one nobody's talking about. By doing this, you've created a gap in the viewer's mind, which makes them naturally want to close that gap. So use one open loop per piece of content, set it up in the first 10 to 15 seconds, and then deliver on it closer to the end. Next, share triggers. The more specific your content is, the more shareable it becomes. For example, if you've ever spent 3 hours on a proposal and then heard nothing back for 2 weeks, this is why is much better and much more likely to be shared than tips for growing your business. And make sure to always add something like, save this before you write your next proposal, or send this to someone who's been freelancing for months and not seeing any results. Now, another thing to keep in mind if you want to grow on Instagram is timing. Most days data shows that early mornings and lunch hours tend to perform best, especially between 6 to 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And content shared on Tuesday through Friday does better than Mondays and weekends. But this is just a baseline, not a rule. After a couple of weeks of posting, you should check your own data by going into your Instagram Insights, opening the Audience tab, and looking at when your followers are actually active. Your audience might be in a different time zone. They might be night owls, or they might be most active on weekends. So check it once a month and adjust. Now, my favorite part, SEO. I've linked a few in the description down below, but for now, I'm going to break it down into 3 simple parts. Let's start with keywords. Instagram reads your captions to understand what your content is about and who to show it to. So your job is to use natural language that matches what your audience would actually search for. On TikTok, you can literally see the keyword a video is ranking for in the search bar. And while Instagram doesn't show it as clearly, the same principle applies behind the scenes. If you're not sure what keyword to use, you can go to the Instagram search bar and start typing a broad topic in your niche and look at what it suggests. You can also look at top accounts in your niche and check which phrases repeat, or use SEO tools like SEMrush or Hootsuite. And in case you're thinking, wait, Carlos, aren't keywords just hashtags? Well, no. Keywords are used throughout the caption, whereas hashtags are words with the hash, usually at the end of a caption, and you only need 3 to 5 per post. The days of adding 30 different hashtags are over. What works now is a small number of very targeted hashtags that clearly describe your content. To find good ones, search your topic on Instagram and look at the hashtag results. You want hashtags that are active, meaning recent posts are showing up, but not too competitive so your content gets lost immediately. So avoid broad hashtags like hashtag fitness or hashtag travel. Try more specific ones like hashtag home workout for beginners or hashtag budget travel tips. You can also look at what similar accounts are using and borrow from their approach. And if you want to speed things up, tools like Flick or Display Purposes can generate related hashtags from a single keyword. Just treat them as the starting point and filter for relevance and specificity. And then there's geotags. If you serve a local audience like a restaurant, a salon, personal trainer, or a photographer, you should definitely be geotagging every post, because when someone browses a location or opens the Explore page, Instagram will show them content from that area. All right, so your profile is built for conversions, you have a strategy, and your content is engineered to be watched and shared. Now here's something you should do once you've been posting consistently. This is what we call the best of 9 test, because it's the exact grid people see when they land on your profile. After each post, you need to track 4 metrics: views, average watch time, shares, and follows per post. This data shows up in Instagram Insights within 24 to 48 hours, and you can use a spreadsheet to keep it organized. For example, say you're a career coach. You test 3 hook styles: mistake-based, outcome-based, and relatable scenarios. You notice that mistake-based hooks consistently keep people watching longer. Now you know exactly what to double down on. And once you do that consistently, that's when you move from testing to actually growing on Instagram. Getting more followers on 5 simple steps. First, recreate your top performers but with a stronger hook. This means taking what already worked and making a new version of it, but spending more time working on the first 2 seconds. So if your original post was 3 things nobody tells you about starting a business, you might turn it into most people start a business this year will quit within 6 months. Here's why. Second, turn your best posts into a series. This works because people who liked part 1 now have a reason to follow you so they don't miss the rest. And the algorithm sees you as someone who consistently posts on that topic. Third, update your pinned posts. Your profile should always show your best work. Fourth, sharpen your call to action. Instead of follow for more, say follow, I'm posting the rest of the series over the next few days. And finally, build an email list. Just offer something useful like a checklist, a guide, or a free resource in exchange for an email. That way, if Instagram changes its algorithm tomorrow, your email list still belongs to you. Now with hosting a reach, You get ready-made templates so you don't have to design anything from scratch. And the AI can even help you write your emails for you based on what you're trying to send. You just pick a template, adjust it, and you're ready to go. All right, one last thing before we wrap up. Instagram is not just about followers. It's also about connections. So go find 3 to 5 creators in your niche that you genuinely like and start commenting on their posts. Don't just say, "Great post," or comment with just emojis, but answer a question, share a quick experience, or give a useful take like, "I had the same issue, what worked for me was X, X, and X." Then take it one step further and send them a DM to connect. Something like, "I've been following your content for a while and your post on blah 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 really helped me. Just wanted to say thanks and stay connected." And of course, look at who's already engaging with similar accounts in your niche. Follow them and engage genuinely. Most people never do this, which is why it stands out immediately. This won't change things tomorrow, but it can quietly change everything over time. So there you go. There's your full Instagram growth system. Most people quit too early, so if you want this to become consistent, commit to a simple system and stick with it long enough to see patterns, not just results. If you want to dive deeper into Instagram, we have a really great video on how to sell on Instagram coming up, so don't forget to subscribe to stay tuned. And in the meantime, here are some other videos to tap into different channels like email marketing or creating a landing page for your link in bio. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.